everybody, and welcome back to life on the off-grid farm. You can hear huckleberries all excited barking in the background. I'm out here today with our Hyundai Ioniq 5. This is also known as our generator on wheels. We picked this up about a month ago. We've gone a couple winters now off-grid, and one of the things we realized that seasonally we don't produce or store as much power or have as much efficiency with our power in the wintertime as we do in the summer. So in the summertime, come noontime, 2 o'clock, we're all charged up. We have a lot of sunshine. We don't have a lot of places to put it. And in the wintertime, on the flip side, as we are in now, we have shorter days. We have less storage capacity. We are using a little bit more, and we're home a lot. And so we were looking for a way to supplement the power to our house. We do have a generator, but it is a lot to get it working in a storm. And it's a lot of money, and it's a lot of fuel and fumes to kind of keep running it to power our house. And so as an alternative, we knew that a lot of vehicles that were coming out had the ability to do some form of vehicle to load, vehicle to home, vehicle to grid. Eventually all that's going to be available, but what could we use now? What was practical for us? What worked with our setup? We already had a manual transfer switch, so could we use something? Could we pull power from an electric vehicle into our house using the setup we already have? And we found the perfect vehicle to do it. Could not be happier. Legitimately, 9 out of the last 10 days, this Hyundai Ioniq 5 has been running our house completely at night. So it's been great. We don't use a lot of power at night because most everybody's asleep. We got the fireplace fan on, the refrigerator. We actually have an extra freezer in the garage. We run some lights, but we're not really using a lot. And so for us to be able to take the load off of the power walls and supplement it with the significant amount of power, much more power actually is in the Ioniq 5, we have about 60 kilowatts available to us. It's a 77 kilowatt system, but about 80% of that's available to us. So it's called 60 kilowatts in the car. We have 40 kilowatts available in the power walls in our house. So what it did was it really gave us a combined, it like more than doubled our power storage. So it's been fantastic. So the one ingredient that has been a little bit of a learning curve through all this, well, there's been quite a few of them actually, but it's which adapter to get. And there's 2 adapters out there for this particular purpose that we're using it for. There's this Lectron vehicle to load adapter, and there's the official Hyundai vehicle to load adapter. And so I was doing the research when we bought the car used a few weeks ago, and I was doing the research, and to be honest with you, the Lectron one is a lot less money. It was $120, $130 when we bought it, and at the time the Hyundai one was about $340. So the reviews on this were really good, on the Lectron were really good, so I figured let's give it a shot, and we did. And there's some parts of it that worked great, and for you this might be perfect, but for us it was really worth spending the extra money to pick up the official Hyundai adapter. Now you could see the size difference. It's a lot more substantial, has the dust cover on it, has the metal locking switch here, and the dust covers that unlock and reseal, as opposed to this one which won't close back up once the cord is in. So there's one more key feature that I think is really important on these. They both plug in really nice, and as you can see, I can unplug the dust cover on the Hyundai one. So we're talking very similar functions, and I think from an electronic standpoint, I think a few people have broken these down, and I think they're fairly similar, but I want to point out one important difference, is that on the plug side of these, I'm going to open it up here, is that this is the black button here for the Ioniq 5 vehicle to load, for the official Hyundai adapter, is you press this black button. You physically have to press it, the green light comes on, it blinks, and it'll kick the system on. I'm going to show you that in a minute. The switch for the Lectron is actually, it's in between the plug. It's right here. And so what happens is when you seat the extension cord or the plug onto the adapter, it depresses that pin and it tells the system that the vehicle to load is enabled. Now, it works, right? But when we were using it overnight, we were finding that would loosen up depending on the weight of the cord pulling down on it or the weather, wind, something like that. None of this is the fault of the adapter, because I definitely recognize that we are using this technology and this hardware in a way that maybe it wasn't quite designed for. being outdoors, and we're trying to remedy that by giving ourselves a little covered area to put the Ioniq under at least. But 9 out of the 10 last days, we've been powering it with this Hyundai adapter, and it has worked perfectly. And I will further tell you that 3 or 4 of those last nights have been in torrential rainstorm, 70-degree winds, hail, snow, sleet, driving inclement weather all night long. And this adapter has really held up. So if you're like me and you were trying to decide between going with a little bit less expensive Lectron, which does work, and if, again, you're looking just to power your laptop, your phones, if you're out on a camping trip and you just need one additional outlet, exterior port on the car, this will be perfect for you. But if you need something a little bit more substantial, a little bit more reliable and heavy duty, I would definitely recommend this official Hyundai adapter. This has worked really well for us. I'll do a little quick video where I plug it in, push on the power button. You can see how easy and simple it is. And once you've got the setup down, you will be powering your devices, appliances, the things you need under 1.9 kilowatts, even though it should be 3.8 because the rest of the world could pull that from the car. But we do have split phase wiring and it does keep us safe. So even though all of that, 1.9 is more than enough to be powering our house. We've designed it to be off-grid, so it really works well. This is the ideal setup for us, and we're gonna switch ourselves over. So stay tuned. Hope you guys have enough power for your day inside and out, and hope everybody's staying warm if you're in the winter and overcoming any challenges you're gonna face. And we'll see you next time on the Off-Grid Farm. Take care, everybody. I put the cord in. See this cord, let's see if there we go. But it loses it. See, just the weight of the cord. It's a great little demonstration of what we were dealing with. So what I was doing, I was having to prop this cord up and sort of, sometimes when your iPhone cable or something isn't working and you gotta wrap it 3 times around here and then twist it and then put your phone upside down to charge. It's kind of essentially the same thing of what was happening here, so it goes off again. In contrast, let's take this off. And all we have to do that is just unplug it and then unlock the car. And that'll free up our vehicle to load adapter here. That came out pretty easy. So now, in contrast, if we take the Hyundai adapter, take the dust cover off, plug it in, clicks in really nice too. You could just hear it seat itself really well. It'll already start to engage whatever hardware is in there, electronics are in there. It's already telling the Ioniq 5 that it's going to be using the vehicle to load feature. So I feel like it's preparing itself. So then I just open the dust cover, which is actually easier to do once it's plugged and locked in. And then the same as this one, as the Lectron, I just plug it in. But instead of the button being where you plug it, so now I'm going to close this, and you can see it's got this sort of weather seal on it, which has worked really well for us. And now all we do is we press this black button. The green light comes on, as you can see. And the vehicle to load function is now ready to go on the car. And we're ready to go in onto the interlock switch off the power from the power walls and switch over to the power from the Ioniq 5. And we're going to be powering our house all night once again, right from the car.